how's it going so far? I guess I'll ask the question. Any thoughts of bringing someone in to compete with Joey? Where is he right now?
Yeah, I think he's. I think we did have someone here. Obviously during minicamp we had guys. We may bring someone in next week. We'll see. But at the end of the day, he's kicking the ball well. He's had a great operation with these guys. Starting to really build confidence with the operation between the different snappers and the holders and that kind of stuff, which has been good for him to get those reps. You start watering it down when you have so many guys in and that kind of thing. You have six specialists that you don't get near as many reps in the amount of time because you still got punters that need to work. You still have practice time and field limitations. But it's been good. He's done well. He's had a good offseason. His mental approach has been phenomenal.
How would you characterize how your comfort level with Joseph Charlton has been from the time you first had him to now where he is, as far as just having the job and having it solidly?
Yeah, I would say he's made some of the biggest improvements in my opinion from the offseason. Just the way his stance and holding, his comfortability, his hands. He's getting a million reps holding the football and placing it and getting comfortable with, again, the different snappers and being able to catch different locations. So he's made huge strides there. His legs obviously been that way. The little things with his drop that he can stay consistent with to be better directionally. But again, had a really good, solid offseason so far, and looking forward to taking it into camp and having a full year together.
Chase, obviously a lot of kicking is mental too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you kind of make sure he's working on that and kind of going through those things? Because it's not something that's like on a field to work on as much.
Yeah, we have every day we go in and we watch the film and we break it down and they talk about the different aspects of it. There's so many like minute details, and then it's about, like you said, having confidence. It's a lot of mental. It's a specialist, trusting your technique, trusting your footwork going into it, and your swing, whether you're a punter or a kicker. Those are the biggest things to have the confidence going into it. So, we're going to put him in as many pressure situations as we can out here. We're going to practice as many unique things and change the tempo, change the personnel as often as possible to give them some different looks. But at the same point, when we get inside, we've got to make sure that they're confident and stay within. Like, we're going to challenge them out here, and then we're going to try to make sure they're confident and prepared inside.
And you've kind of been with Joey, now this is going into your third year. Is there something like, remember when he first came in and like, I know you said the growth he had this offseason,
Yeah.
but like from that point, has he made like huge strides?
Yeah, there's a lot. I think there's a lot. Over the last, obviously he came into camp late a couple years ago, had him, and when Graham had got injured, and quick turnaround, didn't have a lot of time to change what he did before going in, like just trying to make it small, tiny tweaks and make sure he was confident going into it. Had a good first year. The second year we were able to tweak a little bit, obviously getting some of his timing, getting the operation times down, getting his footwork a little bit closer and more compact, which has helped him be more consistent. And then this year, a lot of the mental. So kind of each year is a different thing. There's always improvement. And to his credit, like he's a pro. Like, he's working at everything. He takes more notes than probably anybody I've been around at any position. Every rep he takes, he's writing something down. Has a thought, has a pattern. Always trying to think of the next steps. Some of the stuff he's doing mentally to help his prep has things I hadn't even seen before, which is really, really cool.
Who's excited to see out there on special teams once the games actually start this year?
I'm excited to see them all. Obviously, one of the things I'd say Joey probably, just because having the year last year, having a couple opportunities to big situations to make kicks, and not easy situations by any stretch of the imagination. A couple record-setting kicks, but to be able to rebound from that, watching him have these 2-minute situations, the way he practices and the way he's doing it and going out there and executing, that's probably who I'm most looking forward to watching, I guess.
You guys added some returners. How do you sort of see that? Who's at the top of those charts?
You got obviously David Moore and CJ Saunders, who have been here doing it, and kind of both new but both done it. Looking forward to keep watching those guys. Obviously, we're not hitting. There's not a lot of live bullets and live fire where they're catching in traffic and worried about getting hit, but they've tracked the ball well. They've caught the ball well. Obviously, you always have DJ and Christian back there too. They do it every day and are weapons for us in certain situations that will continue to work.
Those first two guys you mentioned, kick and punt.
Yeah, and then you obviously have Trenton Cannon, kick returner also. We got a couple guys that can kick return. Chuba Hubbard, I was looking forward to. He was doing a nice job back there, and then obviously he got hurt, and so looking forward to seeing him with the pads on and getting into camp.
Does Shy fit into that as well at all?
Yeah, again, he's hurt right now too. So yeah, he's been back there catching punts and doing everything there and continuing the growth. I think there's some different stuff coming off the live foot on a punt that track-wise that he's got to continue to work on. And Frizz has done a great job. Our receiver coach has done a great job working with him. But being out, not being able to do it for a week has kind of set him back a little bit.
As a former just defender, not special teams player, how do you see the talent on this defense now compared to a year ago?
We're faster. I mean, we keep getting faster. We keep getting younger. We're physical. The guys believe in what we're doing. They believe in who we are and what they're about on defense and how we do everything as a team. And so I think it's going to help us on teams. We've brought in guys that can play, guys that can play in space, and that helps us as a team get better.
I know we talk a lot about Joey, but Joe Charlton, to
Yep.
clarify.
Yeah.
Think of his name. How, I guess now that year two, like, is there anything specific that you've seen him improve on or like take steps there?
Yeah, his holding. I mean, it's been big time. I think that's one of the biggest things for him having an off season with Joey, has helped their growth. Like they went together and did their stuff wherever and twice a week or whatever, and they just got together about setting up what he wants to see, what Joey wants to see visually from the stance, and what makes it look best and most appealing to put the ball down in certain holds. And that has developed, just those reps have developed so much confidence in Joe Charlton to being a holder and confident with his hands, and then coming out here and we throw him 100 balls a day and he has to put them down, and that's been big for his growth. So as a holder, I mean, he's been able to punt, he has a good leg. The two things I'd say is his holding's improved and then his drops. So directional has had an uptick. His directional punting has been a little bit better.
Were there some instances last year where maybe we didn't see it or fans didn't see it, but the holds were just a little off and affected the kind of machinations of it?
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be that, and I think everybody in the NFL has that. I mean, everything's not perfect. If it was, we'd make every kick, and if we could have perfect operation every time, we'd be all right. But yeah, I mean, there were some things, certain things that we had to tweak and manipulate because we were worried about certain aspects of it, and we had to make sure that we took as many variables out as we could. And now having the confidence in Joe to come in and do everything he's been able to do and the work he's put in has given Joey so much more confidence too, and obviously us as a staff giving us more confidence. So it all makes a difference, the reps, and not having an off season with Joe, not having most of a training camp with Joe, like trying to get him punting. And you guys saw early in training camp, he was not punting the ball great the first couple weeks. So there was a lot of focus on his drops and punting, and the holding slipped through the cracks a little bit because Joey was overcoming so much of it. And now, obviously as we got going, we figured it out, and that's what we're here for.
How would you break down the JJ versus Fletch position battle,
Yeah.
if you will?
Yeah, I mean, it's a battle. It's going to go as long as I get. I mean, we'll see how it works out. They're both doing really well. JJ's had a tremendous focus coming into this camp. I think that just that push has kind of helped him like rejuvenate himself, I guess, a little bit. Maybe like just that little extra drive and desire to be perfect on everything that he does and be laser focused. Where I think it's also given Fletch a lot of competition because he's like, oh, this isn't just because I got drafted, it's not my job. And making him protect more and understanding some of the small things that JJ's done and able to play for so long. He's picking up those small details, and he's taken a lot of strides in the last, I'd say, 4 or 5 practices. I mean, the first couple weeks, he was kind of going, and his velocity was good, his accuracy was good, and we started introducing a little bit of protection stuff, and you saw a little bit of dip just with the nerves, and then after he's been settled in for 4 or 5 days, I think he's really picked back up. So it'll be a good battle as we go through it.
And when you use a draft pick on a long snapper, I think there's always kind of an anxiousness to kind of see like what you bought. Do you feel like you got the guy that you drafted?
Yeah, I do. I think he's going to play in this league. I think he has the ability to do it and do it for a while. And you're picking a 6th round. Whoops, I'm sorry, late round pick, whatever. You're hoping they pan out and you're hoping they play for a long time. The thing with specialists, I think, is unique is that those guys in that late rounds, if they do play out, if they do start making a team, a lot of those guys can play for a decade. Like a J.J. Jansen, 13 years right now. Some of those guys can play for 10 to 15 years. So there's some risk reward with a guy late in the draft pick that, as a specialist, I think you get a little bit of value because of the years of service you may get at a high level if he is working out.
Was it something more with just about Fletch that you wanted, or was there something in JJ's game that you saw possibly?
No, it was nothing with JJ's game. Honestly, I still think he's a top-tier long snapper, but I think having Fletch firsthand, I mean, obviously breaking down his film, then having him firsthand at the Senior Bowl, seeing his personality, how he was in the specialist group, how he was with the team, and then getting some one-on-one protection stuff with them and seeing him in a pro style, that helps us solidify that, yeah, he can do it at this level, where some guys, even punters or snappers in the college level, they do so much rugby rollout or they don't protect because in college the snapper can just take off. You see some smaller bodies, different body types that don't necessarily translate to the next level. So it's a little bit harder to evaluate. Well, when you get a guy for a week one-on-one, it's a little bit easier to get your fingers on them and mold them a little bit and see exactly what they can do. And so that's the exciting part with Fletch. And we'll see how it all plays out.
Sorry.
You're good.
When determining who wins that battle, what type of things are you evaluating between the two?
Everything. Velocity, accuracy, laces, protection, coverability. I mean, you name it, we got it. It all goes into it. Everything else they'll figure out upstairs or whatever. But, I'm evaluating the strict play and how they do it, and I'm grading every rep. And at the end of the day, they'll make the decision.
From the outside, it looks like, hey, this could be an easy decision. JJ's salary's up here, you got Fletch's way down here, but those little things you mentioned about, do people begin to realize and emphasize how important that position is when you have to measure those type things?
Yeah, I think you have to. I think you have to take it all into account. And again, like I said, I'm grading the play, and I'm coaching as hard as I can and trying to get them both to play at the highest level. And at the end of the day, they'll make the decision what they think is best for the football team, and we'll stand by it and we'll go. I think they're both talented enough to play in the league and play for a number of years. I mean, JJ still has a few years left in the tank, in my opinion, and Thomas is just starting. So there's a lot of good football between those two guys left.